Hey guys, quick note before we get into this week's episode. It is a re-upload. We first uploaded it back like a year ago, and unfortunately it had a little bit of copyright picked up in it and got partially blocked. So I really like this episode. It's really entertaining and I wanted to put it back up on our channel. So I edited out some of the clips. It's still really entertaining. But yeah, so this is a re-upload. It's back when we were just doing the YouTube channel and not really focusing on the podcast aspect of the channel and content and all of that. So I hope you enjoy, and without blabbering on too much, let's get into it.
Hello there.
Hello?
Hey, hi, hello, and welcome to All of the Movies, the podcast where we discuss all of the movies. My name's Aaron, and I'm your co-host here along with Emily. We've been best friends for more than a decade now, traveled together, lived together, and have always shared a love and enthusiasm for all things movies. A while back, we decided to start recording our movie conversations and create a joint YouTube channel, now podcast, to share with all of you. So thanks for watching or listening, and let's get into this week's episode. Yeah, go for it.
No, like you take the lead.
Oh, you want me to take the lead?
Yeah, because I've seen this movie so many times. And you've never seen this movie.
So much pressure. I saw it 3 weeks ago. Oh man, I hate being in the charge of these things. You're so much better at taking the lead than I am. I like just filling in with commentary. I'm the color commentator. You're the lead person.
No. Okay, well, how about for this one, we just switch for this one. See how it
Especially because you have seen this movie before, so like it would be better coming from you because you know it better.
No, you go.
I don't want
I'm waiting.
I can wait you out.
I hate you. Okay. The Fifth Element.
Multipass.
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
This is a heart, not a multipass.
Check on. Check on.
She's my favorite. Let's just go. Like
I know,
she's
Lulu.
awesome.
Okay, so this movie, so good. Okay, it was done in 1997. It has Bruce Willis,
Hi.
Mila
Say it right. You got this.
Jovovich,
Yeah.
Multipass.
Multipass. You know this multipass. Lilu Dallas.
anyways, so,
Yes.
and it also has Gary Oldman in it.
It's nice to see you again, Father.
Yes, it does. Oh man. So
Poor
I'm
Gary Oldman.
literally his character. Just really quickly, his character comes on the screen for the first time, and I'm like, "Is that Gary Oldman?" And then I was like, "No." And then I'm watching it, and I'm like, "That's totally Gary Oldman." I had myself convinced that it was not him through the whole movie, and so after I watched it, I'm like, "Screw this!" I'm looking it up, IMDb, and I was like, "It was Gary Oldman." I freaking knew it. I knew it was him. So anyway, I'm sorry I had to like have that little explosion right there. I love Gary Oldman. So yeah.
This was the first movie I had ever seen Gary Oldman in. So when I see Gary Oldman in
You think of
other
this
movies,
character.
I think of this character, and I'm like,
That's what a
I
character to
love
think of him.
so
That's,
much.
yeah, he's fantastic. Yeah.
All right, so it takes place in the 23rd century, and Bruce Willis's character Corbin Dallas is
What a
taxi
name,
driver.
by the way.
I know, right? It's like one of those. I'm pretty sure they were like, okay, what was the name of my first dog, and where was I born? Corbin Dallas. Character.
Password security question answers, and that's how we get our character names.
Yep. But anyway, so he's a taxi driver, and these taxis and other cars are flying because it's in the 23rd century. So, yeah, we
will be flying by then in
Yeah.
cars. And we'll have sushi come right up to our apartments.
right. It's so cool. Okay.
His apartment was awesome. I want to live in a place like that. I'm just saying. Yeah.
But
Everything was,
anyway.
yeah, it was fantastic.
So it's so good. It's a story about this guy who is kind of like his Die Hard character. He's in the wrong place at the right time, and he saves the day.
You mean like every Bruce Willis movie ever made?
Yeah. But we love Bruce Willis.
Okay, let's just put this out there. I know how you feel about Tom Cruise, and I'm going to make you upset right now. Bruce Willis is the same character in every movie, just like Tom Cruise. He just does it better. Bruce Willis is a better actor than Tom Cruise. Yeah. Yeah, Bruce Willis is a bit, plus he's taller and better looking. Tom Cruise is a troll. The only thing Tom Cruise has going for him is that he does his own stunts. But so does Jackie Chan, and Jackie Chan is almost as good an actor as Tom Cruise.
Okay, I digress.
I knew it was going to make you unhappy, but I had to put it out there. Bruce Willis is way better than Tom Cruise.
I don't want to compare things. I just say, no. Always cynics. There's always has been, there always will be. I have never worried about what other people think and what other people say.
Give me Die Hard over Mission Impossible every day of the week.
Okay, now I would have to agree with you there. No, I would have. Okay, digressing.
I'm sorry. I just want to show everyone in the world how much I cannot stand Tom Cruise.
Okay, so Corbin Dallas, he ends up getting this foreign girl that's like pretty much naked in his...
Yeah, that like outfit strappy thing that she had going on, that was very interesting. With no eyebrows.
Very nice.
That was a look. Her outfit, that tank top thing that he wore, what was that? Like, I'm pretty sure I texted you when I was watching the movie, like, what is he wearing? That orange tank top that he wore was, like, just priceless.
It's iconic.
Yeah.
It's so iconic now.
With the blonde hair, yeah.
So, he learns a lot along the way about himself and about this girl and about, I mean...
Yeah, you're right.
She's an element.
Yeah. Go figure.
Huh.
Didn't see that one coming.
Spoiler!
Surprise!
But anyway, so they get to go through all of these really cool settings and meet all these really cool people and on their adventure of saving the world from this evil entity. Dun dun dun. Like, it's so good.
I also changed my mind. She's not my favorite character. Chris Tucker is.
Corbin Dallas! Hotter than hot. He's hot.
I love him so much in this movie. I want him to be that character in that onesie. Oh my goodness. I love him in this movie. He is so brilliant. It is literally the perfect role for him. No one could have played that character besides Chris Tucker. Literally no one. He is the only person that could have pulled it off, and he was just so good. Favorite character. He's fantastic. I love him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's just so good. Every time he was on screen, I was like, oh yeah, things are about to get really, really funny and just so great. Oh.
Okay, so speaking of that, how all of the characters interact with each other, it's like they're all best friends creating this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if they actually liked each other off set, but like all of those characters just
seemed like
worked.
They were having a good time filming it. Like, I don't know, I feel like that's the movies when you get like an ensemble cast together where it's more than just like a main character and then some like supporting cast, but when it really is truly an ensemble, like the Avengers movies, like they just seem like they're having a good time filming those movies because the characters are all like snarking back and forth, and sure, that's written into it, but they pull it off really well. And they did that in The Fifth Element too. They all just played really well off of each other, and see like the scene partners and everything. They were really they just seemed like they were having a good time, which made me have a good time watching it.
Yeah, no, The Fifth Element is such an entertaining movie.
For sure, yeah.
Full facet.
Like, totally bizarre, entertaining movie.
Yeah.
It kind of gave me the same, what's that, they're like making fun of sci-fi with Rickman, where he's the alien.
Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest. It kind of had that like bizarre, like off-kilter humor about it. But totally entertaining, and I loved it. It was so good.
For me, I love practical effects. I think that's what made me really fall in love with the original Star Wars, is all of the practical effects. And that's why I really liked J.J. Abrams. He did it because it was so, like, he brought in, like, the yak and, like, all these practical effects. And when, like, horror movies do that and any other type of movie, if you could do practical effects over CGI, I love that. And in this movie, there's CGI when needed, but if they could do practical effects, they did it. Like the, whatever they're called, the monster, they were just like.
Which also, just like little thing here, but Captain Marvel, just remember what you just said when you watch Captain Marvel. That's all I'm gonna say. Because no spoilers on that one. But
and I kind of do want you to take over from this one, because I could talk all day. Like, I love this movie, but I kind of just want your take on it, because you're the newbie to it.
I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. That's it. It was entertaining. Like I've said that before. It was really entertaining. It kind of had a bizarre. Sci-fi is not my favorite genre. It's up there. Knowing you and watching movies with you has made me like sci-fi more. Just because you've got some really good, like, pull them out of the back pocket sci-fi, like, that are not like Galaxy Quest, like, that are not top. It's not Star Wars. It's not Star Trek. It's not Terminator. Like, those are big time sci-fi movies, but when you can watch the not even lower budget, but just not the the more bizarre ones, the more off the beaten path kind of sci-fi, which I would equate this to.
Yes.
I mean, it probably did make some bank, but I think it's very culty. Yeah, and it had that feeling for sure. It was very culty, but I loved it. I was entertained the whole time, and just sitting there going, like, it was hysterical. The characters were all so very unique to their own, but they also kind of fit, like, going back to how they played off of each other in the scenes and everything. They all fit really well together, but they were so unique that they stood on their own, which is kind of hard to do, I think, in an ensemble movie, when you can have each of the characters developed at the same level and not lose anything on anyone else's. Like, even some of the minor parts, like Chris Tucker's part was nowhere near as big as Bruce Willis or Mila, or even Gary Oldman's character. Like, his character was just inserted in there when it was needed for, like, comedic timing or whatever, but it was still just as developed and just as unique as, as the four leads or whatever you want to call them. And I thought that was, like, really, really well done. Because with the bigger the cast, I think the more you lose with character development. And I think they did that really well. And I know that's kind of like a technical thing, but I thought that and then just the world that they created was absolutely incredible. You get a movie like this where you're not just creating, especially sci-fi, you're not just creating a spaceship. You're not just creating, this, like, oh, we're going from point A to point B, this, like, whole linear, quest or whatever, but you create an entire universe like Star Wars, like Star Trek. When you can create a whole world in an hour and a half or an hour 45 minutes, I think this movie actually was like 2 hours, you crushed it. And they were like, it was every little detail was there. Like, it was so good. I just really enjoyed it.
In a good sci-fi movie is when you're not just pigeonholed into whatever it is, because when you think about sci-fi, you're going to worlds, you're going to other cultures, you're going to other planets, the development of Earth itself has gone beyond. So you have to have a vision for what the future is going to look like. But not only that, but how our government is going to be.
I loved the way they had the federations and the president and all this. So I thought that was really cool.
Exactly. And Star Wars did that so well, creating this universe and creating, the Galactic Empire. And then you have your Trade Federation, and you have all of these, Naboo, and some places have senators and queens. And
Star Wars is like the litmus test for, or is like the mark, the high water mark for what every sci-fi movie needs to be able to do as far as creating a world.
Exactly.
George Lucas is like a mastermind, like just incredible at creating this literally entire universe. So if any movie can come close to creating the detail that those movies did, then I think it's a solid win. This movie did that.
Exactly. Because you have your cruise liners, and they're like space liners though. Yeah.
That was incredible. I loved that idea of having this whole very snooty, the whole show on a cruise, and that's so what a cruise is like.
Yeah.
With the opera and all of that stuff. It was fantastic.
Yeah. No, it just is so good. And one of my favorite scenes is the opera scene, because it shows that the movie, because up until that point, you don't really understand that the movie has that core message. At least to me, up until that point, when Corbin Dallas, because he's, in a rut, just some cab driver, middle-aged, his mom is a jerk, so he doesn't really have meaning to his life. Yeah, this happened, and he's having to do this, but he's very reluctant at it and whatnot. And he doesn't have the philosophy or the religion, and he doesn't believe.
He's going through the motions.
Yeah, he's just going through life.
Yeah.
Like all of us feel like we're doing sometimes. But through the journey and up until that point, you see him reacting to the opera singer and her emotions that she's giving off in opera, which is what opera's
all about.
It gives you emotions that you can feed off of. And I think in that moment, it gives his character so much depth, because you could see
it resonate.
Brain working, it's resonating with him, and he's changing. And in that change, you also see Lilu's change, because she comes up and she's very assertive and hopeful, but then she changes to being doubtful and angry and what the heck, I'm supposed to save mankind? Are they even worth saving? Why should I save them? They're all just a bunch of murderers and warmongers. And so she loses faith as he's gaining faith. And then he has to take that faith, and in those last moments, reignite her faith in humanity. And she herself isn't the fifth element, technically. Love is the fifth element.
And they mentioned that in the movie. I forget where, but it's mentioned that she needs him. And at the end, he is kind of the match that lights the flame kind of thing.
If you don't do something right now, we're all gonna die.
Or whatever.
You understand?
They did such a great job with that.
There are some things, very nice things worth saving, some beautiful things.
Like love.
Yes, love. That's good. That's a good example. Like love. Love is worth saving.
I don't know love. I was built to protect, not to love. So there's It's no use for me to do this.
No, I need you. I need you very much.
Why?
Because I love you.
It's just a really entertaining movie.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely one that I could watch multiple times. Yeah.
Multi-times.
Multi-pass. Yeah, some of those
Dallas.
lines were just so like they were just so cute. It was just an adorable, like those interchanges between the two of them especially. They had great chemistry.
Oh yeah. And then at like the very end, okay, talk about a good ending. I know I kind of was like on Shawshank Redemption's
Both
ending.
of us were, yeah, because it was long.
This, it's so good. It's so good. Because like they saved the world in the nick of time.
Yep. Literally the nick of time.
It's so good. And like the bad guy, he's not villainous. Gary Oldman.
He's hard to be like villainous because he's so awkward.
Yeah, especially
like he's
in that
just
costume.
Yeah, with the yeah. He's so bizarre, and he's like a comic villain. You know what I mean? Like he's like who's the bad guy in Austin Powers?
Oh, I haven't seen Austin Powers.
What? Okay, well
Mini-Me,
yeah. He's kind of got that, like, he's a bad guy, but he's kind of...
But he fits the movie. Like, you couldn't
he's goofy. I don't know, and he's not goofy, because he's, like, murdering people all over the place, but he's, like...
Very nonchalant and just...
Yeah, he's just... I don't know, it's like Gary Oldman. Like, I just picture, like, just throw Gary Oldman in there. He doesn't even need to really be a character. He could just be himself. Because I feel like that's how he is. He was perfect.
Yeah. No, I loved that they didn't make him like
evil.
Yeah. Because he wasn't evil. He was just
a product of circumstance. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He was just money hungry.
Now take this empty glass. Here it is, peaceful, serene, boring. Destroy it. Look at all these little things. So busy now. Notice how each one is useful. Technicians, engineers, hundreds of people who will be able to feed their children tonight so those children can grow up big and strong and have little penny-wing children of their own.
You see, Father, by creating a little destruction,
a cherry,
I'm in fact encouraging life. In reality, you and I are in the same business.
He wasn't the mastermind.
Right.
The big old blob evil thing is the evil in this.
Right. Right.
So I really, really enjoyed.
Yeah, he was just trying to, he's like a mobster. He was just trying to run around and, money grubbing and power hungry and all this stuff. But he was definitely not evil, but yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't the antagonist.
Right. He was,
He was an antagonist.
He was an antagonist, yeah.
He wasn't the antagonist.
Yeah.
So, so good.
Yeah, but I really did. I really enjoyed this movie.
But again, it was a practical thing. It wasn't CGI.
That was something, going back to your comment before on how they use practical effects versus CGI. I think that when you look at movies that use a lot of CGI, and even if it's done well, one of the issues that most people have, one of the many issues that most people have with the prequels in Star Wars are how much CGI there is. And there is a lot. I enjoyed the prequels a lot. I love those movies, but the CGI made it feel like a video game a lot of the times. And to me, that was one of the things where those movies fell short.
That doesn't compute.
Were just, especially when you know what they're capable of, because the 3 movies that came out way before CGI was even really as good as it was when they made the prequels, you knew what they could do with practical effects. So it was kind of disappointing. So
that's why I don't quite mind it.
It's not that I mind it. It doesn't, when I'm watching the movies, I'm not like, oh, here comes the CGI again. But it is one of those things where if you know what we're not even talking about The Fifth Element anymore, but when you know what they're capable of, because of, the first 3 episodes, then it's kind of a letdown that they didn't, stay on that level. But there's like one scene in those movies that is just like a video game, and it's the one with all of the droids. Like that one is like, it literally looks like the video game.
Right. What bothers me about the prequels, and then we can go back to Fifth Element.
Start talking about Star Wars, and Emily's going to be talking about it for an hour.
What bothers me about the prequels, specifically the CGI, I don't mind it. Like the pod races, total necessary.
Those were awesome. That didn't feel like CGI. That was necessary CGI. Yeah.
And I think that's my rub, is in places that he could have done practical effects, he didn't. He being George Lucas.
Right.
He used a lot of CGI when some of it could have been practical.
That's where I am.
Pod race, CGI that.
Needed. Yeah.
And that's the thing with the.
But those scenes when you needed to like extend the scene beyond, where the set was, where it needed to be built out, that where it was so obviously like we're talking under the Tuscan sun level green screen type stuff going on there, like that to me, I was like, come on, man, like I've seen you do better. I know you can do better. Like that was the things that I'm talking about. Whereas in this movie, they stuck true to, like, the scenes felt built out. Like I don't think there was a single point in this movie where I was watching it going, oh man, look at that green screen, that's awful, or oh wow, that's so much CGI, because I feel like they truly did build them out. And what awesome, like the ability to do that.
But The Fifth Element, if you haven't seen it, go freaking see it.
Yeah, definitely go watch it.
It's a good time.
Definitely go watch it.
And it's really well made. Like there's no plot holes really. Like I
think it moves too fast for you to notice if there was one. You know what I mean? It's not one of those movies that stops you. It's
an attention grabber.
Get on. It's got that little like prequel scene at the very beginning to kind of get you to figure out where the story's going to take off from, and then it jumps ahead, and from then on you're just, you're gone, you're going. And I think that's, whether they did that on purpose because they were like, let's hurry up and get through the story so no one notices what's missing, who knows? I doubt that. But if there was anything missing, you don't notice it because it's just moving at too quick a pace, which I really enjoyed. I think it needed to move at the pace that it did. Had it been any slower or any faster, it would have been either too much or you would have been waiting too long for the story to catch up to you, or you would not have been able to catch up to the story. So I think that the timing was really well done, which is something that's, I think, really difficult to get right in movies. Scene timing is different. You've got two people and their timing with each other. That's fairly easy. But the pacing of a movie, yeah, I think that is something that's much harder to come by, especially in movies now where you've got like formula movies that I keep going back to all the time, but which I don't think that this one really was. It had formula elements, but there's not a movie out there like this one. It was a truly unique story, which I appreciate because there is so much out there, especially now, that's not, remakes and all this garbage.
Or like remakes, but let's just make them all females this time.
Oh yeah. So I'm not gonna lie, the two movies that I saw that were remakes but all female casts, Ghostbusters and Ocean's 8.
But that's not a remake.
Right. Ocean's 8 extended the storyline. Right. Like that one, and it was good.
Ocean.
Right.
It's Sister Ocean.
It's Sister Ocean, right. I really liked that movie. And Ghostbusters was funny. It was not like a well-made movie, but it was funny.
I didn't think it was funny.
Yeah, it was not a movie that I was like, oh wow, awesome movie, but I laughed. I watched it at like 11 or 12 o'clock at night, but
again, comedy, not my strong suit. So
did you like the original Ghostbusters movie?
Yes.
I mean,
but I love Bill Murray.
Yeah, Bill Murray. I was gonna say it didn't beat the first one. It didn't even come close to the first one, but it was funny.
I think
Chris Hemsworth was funny, and I like Kristen Wiig, and I like Melissa McCarthy. So
well, see, I thought I would like it because I love Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig is one of my favorite actresses,
especially in Paul.
Oh, that movie is so underrated.
It's so
that
good.
movie is so underrated. That was a great movie.
It's so good. But yeah, so I like Kristen Wiig. I like Melissa McCarthy. Oh, and then what's her face from SNL? The other one, the other blonde, who is like.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't remember.
She has those like wild eyes.
This is a poltergeist situation. I'm not doing anything.
Kate McKinnon. McKinnon?
Yes.
She's the one who does Ellen.
Yes. Well, she does Ellen and Hillary and.
Oh, she's fantastic. I love her.
Yeah. We're gonna have so many sections of like.
There's nothing going on. We're not even talking about The Fifth Element anymore.
That's okay though. Well, I think we've covered really.
We have covered the movie.
All of it.
So The Fifth Element was one of those movies to me where, like, as far as reviewing it goes, there's not a lot to review because there's not a lot there.
Not in a bad way.
But not in a bad way, right? Yeah. It is what it is. Here it is. This is The Fifth Element. Enjoy it or don't. We don't really care.
Yeah.
That was it.
It was filmed well. The music is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, the actors, the great character development was awesome. The set design was incredible. Like, it was just really quirky, but I don't think anyone's going out there calling it some cinematic masterpiece. Technically, it was really well done. It was shot well, all of those things, but it wasn't like...
Not an Oscar movie.
Yeah, definitely not an Oscar movie.
One thing that we can note, because I think one of the things that we've established on this channel is I like certain directors, and if I like one of their movies, it's a really good chance that I'm going to like all of their other movies.
Mm-hmm.
So on this one, it's a little bit different because it's Luc Besson, Besson. Besson. Anyway.
Besson.
I don't know. But anyways, okay, so what he's known for is he was the writer on The Fifth Element. He was the writer on another good movie that I actually like, Leon, the Professional, and one movie that I know you didn't like, Lucy, with Scarlett Johansson.
Didn't even finish that movie.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen the whole thing. That's so disappointing because I love her. I feel like I need to give it another chance, but I just can't bring myself to. I've given it 2 chances already. 3 strikes and you're out. So if I watch it one more time and don't like it, that's it.
But the one movie that I want to talk about that I was disappointed with that he did, and I was really looking forward to this movie, but maybe my expectations were higher than... Anyways, Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets.
Never saw it.
So disappointed. Just an insert clip of disappointed. You know the clip that I'm talking about?
No.
With Kevin Sorbo?
No.
What? Oh. Okay. Pause. I can't.
She's speechless, ladies and gentlemen.
But you know who Kevin Sorbo is. Okay. Or whatever.
Wait a minute. This isn't my world. Disappointed!
Yeah. Yeah, okay. That's awesome. Disappointed!
Anyway, so when I'm disappointed, that's what I think of. And for that movie, I was highly
disappointed.
Yeah. Because it's a Luc Besson film and they it's a sci-fi and Fifth Element and all of that. But then they got Cara Delevingne.
Do you not like her?
Not as an actress.
Really?
Right. Okay, so Paper Towns that she was in, she was paper thin on her acting. Yeah. acting chops are not there. This movie, I think, could have been so much better if they could have gotten an actress to deliver the lines. No chemistry between the two. When they were flirting, it was so awkward and weird. Like, it just, no.
It's like Twilight. One element wrong. And a movie is ruined.
Back to The Fifth Element, one of the good lines in there, or just things, is when he's like going in for like the kiss on the couch, and then it's just like, oh nope, because she's like,
yeah, he's what did he say? I knew that. Yeah,
Yep.
Definitely. I shouldn't have done that. Right.
You're right. I shouldn't have done that. It was wrong to kiss you. But he said, wake you up gently. You're right.
You're right.
Yep.
I love the way he says her name. I don't know why this like stuck with me, but when he asks what her name is and she gives him that like long diatribe, he's like, Jordan, and she's like, Lilu, and he goes, Lilu, and his lips. I don't know what it was, but I found that adorable.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of adorable moments in the movie, because like she's such a strong, independent, on kick ass kind of girl. She's so
vulnerable.
Yep.
You
know? And I think that's very refreshing in this world. And maybe, this is politically incorrect now, but like the whole feminist, like, we don't need no men kind of do you be an independent boss ass babe. But I mean, men.
Yeah, no, I talk about that all the time. Like someone, we did this thing at work for International Women's Day, and posted this thing on social media, like congratulating the women managers that we have at work. And I got an email from one of the male managers here who was like, who said, "Oh, that's awesome, but when's International Men's Day?" And so I emailed right back. I was like, "Do you mean every day?" And then I put down at the bottom, I was like, "I'm a little bit of a feminist, so you might want to recognize that." But it was like, and he meant it as a joke, I hope. But I'm definitely a feminist when it comes to like, but I still like men, like.
Yeah.
But I shave. Like I'm not one of those. Like I'm not gonna take it that far.
Yeah, no, and I think that's like, I don't know. It kind of goes hand in hand with this movie, because like she's a strong female lead, but and it doesn't have that like male knight. Like he doesn't save her, but
it's definitely, there is no damsel in distress. It's a partnership. It is equality. Exactly. Yeah.
It's so good. He needs her
just as much as she needs him. Yep.
And the whole like, him leaning in, and then she like, you better back up. He was like, okay, that's fine.
Cool. Yep. I saw that. Yep. I knew that was a bad idea.
I mean, good on him. He wants to kiss her. Okay. He goes in, he gets rejected. He's good.
Yep.
He's a good male figure.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh man, yeah. But there's so many avenues and things that you could talk about with this movie, because it's not just one of those entertaining movies. Like it does have a message, and
it's one of those movies. So let's put it this way. I think it's one of those movies that is entertaining, like on its own, base level, just a really well done, entertaining movie. If you care to look deeper and draw some meaning out of it, you will find meaning there, but you don't have to go looking for it. Right. And it doesn't require you to look for it, because it just is, entertaining on its own. And it doesn't need to be figured out if you don't want to figure it out. You know what I mean? Like it's not one of those movies where you've got like some, not even hidden meaning, but just some underlying, meaning to the movie that's supposed to draw this like spiritual connection or whatever. It's just entertaining. But there is it's not a surface level movie. It's not a one note movie. There is depth to it. And if you choose to look for it, you will find, yourself pleasantly surprised by how deep it is.
Like, because it is a movie that takes old motifs and puts them into the 23rd century in a refreshing way.
Truly unique, refreshing way. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. It is like you have your journey that your hero goes on. You learn stuff. You have your romantic interest, but it's not.
That's why I said it takes some like formula pieces, but it's not a formula movie.
Right. It's the ultimate good against evil, where how does good triumph over evil? Love.
I like it. Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Plain and simple. Yeah, I like that.
All right. So, large bag of popcorn in my book.
Not even the collectors?
I feel like
I'm constantly second guessing your choices as to what you're grading these movies. But
yeah, okay. So, I feel like at the beginning of this, I was like, I love it so much, collectors.
Preconceived notions.
So I think from now on, I'm going to try, just because I love a movie doesn't mean it has to have the collector's edition. So I'm correcting myself with this one. I want to give it a collector's because I think it deserves it. But a large bag of popcorn will suffice.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think a large bag of popcorn. I don't think I've given a collector's popcorn yet.
And now I feel guilty. I'm like, I'm just giving them out left and right.
But yeah, this one gets a large popcorn for me. Probably refill it. And some snow caps. Like it deserves all of the fixings.
Go watch it.
Go watch it. It's
you
on.
will not be disappointed.
Disappointed. Yeah, no. Definitely go watch it. Get a bucket of chicken. Chicken.
Anyways, yep, love it. Okay, so our next movie is
Catch Me If You Can.
Catch Me If You Can.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes. Tom.
My boy. So, okay. You have not seen this movie, or you have seen this movie.
I've seen this movie.
Okay, I couldn't remember if you, because I've only seen it once. So at one time, Leonardo DiCaprio is my favorite male actor of all time, bar none.
Yeah.
It's him and Meryl Streep. Like, they are the pinnacle of what it means to be great actors. And anything he's in, there has not been not a single movie of his that I have not loved. Not one. Even movies that are like not my genre, The Man in the Iron Mask, like I don't like movies like that, but I love that movie.
Oh my word. When I mention that movie, I can't find anybody who knows that movie.
That movie is like one of his best movies ever.
Yeah.
Like, he's incredible in that movie. So I am so excited to review Catch Me If You Can. Like, I would love to dedicate a section to Leonardo DiCaprio on this channel. Like, just
yay.
High five. Cyberspace high five.
That's what we should do. Just
What?
high five.
Oh, yeah, because then we don't have to worry about what side of the camera we're on.
Yeah.
Because that madness is ridiculous, and we're terrible at it. So.
High five. I want to see Captain Marvel.
It is so freaking good.
Okay. But that's not what this review is about.
No, it's not.
And his pet. What the heck?
Oh, yeah. That thing
was
bizarre. That was very, very, very strange. Yeah, that was weird. That part was hysterical and also gross to me because the way she eats chicken was nasty.
Okay,
I don't like when people chew. There are two actors that I can watch eat. Brad Pitt, Matthew McConaughey. Like, if you're not either one of them, don't chew on camera. Because I find it disgusting.
So weird. I don't like when people chew either. But I will confess that when I eat chicken and I'm by myself, I am Lilu. Chicken. And like with the people I'm comfortable with, if somebody like walks in and I have my plate of chicken, I'm just like, chicken. They're like, okay, bye.
Yeah, all right then. That's something.
All right, that is a wrap for this week's episode of All of the Movies. Both Aaron and myself are really excited to create and share these discussions, but more importantly, have you guys join in on the conversation. So make sure to subscribe to the channel on YouTube or wherever you stream your podcasts and enable those notifications so you never miss a new episode. Of course, you can connect with us on Instagram at All of the Movies. And don't be shy, we love reading and engaging with fellow movie lovers in the comments down below. We'll catch you next time.